earnestly requesting the City Council, but I'm going to bring it up to our executive branch, to the owner, City Mayor, to decide. After all, LL ta encabeza con el ciudad de Zamboanga. So Cornelia lang gadyo se manda decidi que abre pero con acuerdo con el guidelines del IATF, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, there are matters that has to be resolved at the community level. Regulation of those who should allow to be entered, that's one. Shall we allow betting public? If we compare this to other cockpits, as claimed by the distinguished chairman that they are already operating, like in Cebu or other LGUs, how do they do it there? The city government of Zamboanga is zero in the collection of the amusement tax because, for obvious reason, the operation has been suspended of all cockpits. I would say the executive would like to know how other LGUs are operating. How do they collect the amusement tax in this regard? And the compliance of health measures is also to be considered here. I have really no quarrel with the operation of cockpits. In fact, I was the one who was saying things of this nature. That's it about time that we should study the possibility. But my concern is how the city would earn if this is allowed. That's why we have to know from the operators what's their position on the matter about collection of amusement taxes. The distinguished chairman, Mr. Chairman, has said that there were several who were present.
All.
Now, we do not know who were those who were present. That's why, if it will be a verbal report, then that would be very hard for me to consider because we have really to refer this to the committee, at least for one committee hearing, and then we could vote on it. It is what is included in the agenda is an undated letter. Now, in addition, there is already a recommendation being made by the committee chairman, which letter has not yet been referred to the distinguished chairman. So I hope we follow rules here on the matter, Mr. Chairman, but I do not know what's the pleasure of the body.
Your Honor.
I feel that we might as well refer this, and then I know the distinguished chairman could call one committee hearing and plancha este para ver. My concern is how the city will earn from this operation, because that's what we cannot include in the resolution. The executive will be interested. I do not know if the treasurer's office was present when that meeting was done, was called upon. In
Your
this
Honor.
Initiative that we do not do. That's only my concern, Mr.
Your
Chairman.
Honor, I accept the suggestion of Councilor Jimenez for me to call on a committee hearing to further discuss. Although, just to answer, in as far as the mechanics is concerned, we already have it in the IATF DILG guidelines. Talaga yo todo cosa lang puede adentro del gallera. Pero por amor di tuyo, kay quiere to, sabi kayo, pati el mga attendants, taki todo el quien ya atende. Como ya habla yo, hindi que debe aquí era, quiere sila man-meet afuera, habla yo no quiere yo man-meet afuera. Quiere yo man-meet kita aquí mismo na konseho. So, that's the reason why I asked them to sign just to prove that they were all here. So, highly represented cock breeders and the cockpit operators of Zamboanga City. But, just to give in to your request, this humble chairman of the Committee on Games and Amusement will call on a committee hearing as soon as possible within this week, so that once and for all, I understand your predicament on as far as the revenue is concerned. So this is something that we did not discuss. So I think we should discuss this because bottom line, the city should earn. And I'd like to add, furthermore, the reason why they are complaining is because they think it is unfair on their part while they are licensed, given the permits to operate. Talion na utrulaw ng mga donde-donde kada semana. Tiene 2, 3 tarian, juego, at hace alrededor de ciudad de Zamboanga. So, amo también se el Lego, si puede ahora pasar resolution, I would like to pass a resolution requesting the city police office to please kindly monitor tarians all over the city of Zamboanga and penalize people who are caught to be present in these games. I move accordingly.
Any
Second.
before that, I think there is still what's the pending motion, floor leader, before
Yes,
the
the-
motion of Member Ilago.
Referral to the
Okay.
committee.
Yeah.
So let's refer it first to the committee. Any objection, comment? Yes, Member Jimenez. Jimenez, then Villa Flores.
I would like to know, el presentación de la de aquel día, aquel ang plazada, sabi man to si tan match up, dyan si plazada, where the city will earn from there.
That is exactly.
Of course,
yes.
we should consider also in the committee hearing, if they operate on a certain day, can we agree that they pay already a minimum amount by way of amusement tax? Para, kasi,
We will-
no man say entrada. So, I hope this thing should be considered. How the
Yes, Your
city
Honor.
will earn from this.
Actually, I will be inviting you, of course.
Okay.
So you will be able to expound further on that concern, Your
Yes,
Honor.
yes. Thank you.
So, Your Honor.
Member Villa Flores.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Alam pa si Councilor BP, sila mamandali committee hearing, o solo lang. May I know who are the members of the committee? Kasi we will be present during the committee. Después, ano naman siya mga members. May kasabay kita, disturbing Akil kasi what he's doing right now is Akil ko sa saka information from the visitors by way of resolution niya sila pasa, but there's a request to refer this to the committee, okay lang. Hindi ka problema, but I know the members of the committee on
Mr. Chairman, because I have a feeling that the first question that the mayor's office will ask, Kemodo man encontrar el ciudad, how much can we earn in this operation? So that we should be ready with that para smooth sailings eh.
Yes.
I know to that effect.
Okay. Committee on Games and Amusements. Chairperson, Vincent Paul A. Ilago. Vice Chairperson, Honorable Miguel Alabar. Members, Honorable Carrie Jan Pio, Elking Umaga, and Councilor Jerky Balesco. Okay. Because I asked this, Mr. Chairman, because one time, Member BP Ilago called me up, informing me about some issues on this nature. Abla yun na, hindi ka ni member. Hindi, membro to. Hindi ba? So, istayara. Hindi ka yung committee of the whole.
So let's dispose of the referral first. Refer to the Committee on Games.
Yes,
Any
so,
other matter?
Your Honor, I'd like to pass that resolution which I stated earlier. Requesting the city police and the barangays, in coordination with the barangays, to strictly enforce the anti-tarian anti-gambling ordinance, particularly in hot fighting, Your Honor. I move accordingly.
Any second?
Second. Second, Olaso.
Seconding members Villa Flores, Piok, Dalipe, Perez,
Olaso.
Olaso. Comment, objection, there being none, the same is hereby approved. Next item, floor leader.
Next item, Mr. Chairman, I.3. 4, yep. Already passed earlier. I.4, may we recognize member Pareja.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chair. This is a resolution expressing warmest congratulations to Commodore Toribio Dulinayan Adesi Jr., Philippine Navy, for being designated as the new acting commander of the Naval Forces Western Mindanao. Whereas Commodore Toribio Adesi Jr., Philippine Navy, is a proud member of the Philippine Military Academy, Makatao, class of 1989. Upon his graduation from the Academy, he joined the Philippine Navy on February 19, 1989. Whereas his expertise includes naval operations, education, training, and personal management and administration. He also successfully commanded 4 Philippine Navy vessels. Whereas he became the commander of the different naval task group, the 61.1, the Naval Task Group 61.2, Naval Task Group Basilan, Naval Task Group Central, and the Naval Task Group 62.1, and all under Naval Forces Western Mindanao. The Naval Task Force 41-3 in Naval Forces West. He was also the task group commander of the Philippine Navy contingent to the Defense Exhibit in 2011 and earned the coveted Command at Sea Badge in 2012. Whereas Rear Admiral Eric A. Kagawan, the Philippine Navy, turned over the command of the Naval Forces Western Mindanao to Commodore Toribio Dulinayan Adesi Jr., Philippine Navy, during the change of command ceremony held at the Naval Forces Naval Station Romulo Espaldon, Bagong Kalarian, Zamboanga City on October 30, 2020. The event was presided by the Flag Officer in Command, the Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Giovanni Carlo J. Bacordo, Philippine Navy. Therefore, be it resolved as it is hereby resolved to express this august body's warmest congratulations to Commodore Toribio Dulinayan Adasi Jr., Philippine Navy, for being designated as the new acting commander of the Naval Forces Western Mindanao. Mr. Chair, subject to style, I move accordingly.
Any seconding members Atilano, Jimenez, Perez, Piok, Nunyo,
Olaso.
Olaso, Umaga, Vincent Paul
Olaso.
Comment, objection, there being none, the same is hereby approved. Next item.
I.5, proposed resolution of Honorable Vincent Paul Altea Elago.
Your Honor, the past few days, I have been receiving a lot of complaints from residents all throughout Zamboanga City. Their complaint is that sometimes, especially alya parte ng Murok, taatra ka daw kanila, itapena takuhi kanila, tapena kanila, mentras taman jogging sila, mentras taman exercise, simply because hindi sila tao sa face shield. Okay? Alright. Okay, so, at any rate, Your Honor, this is actually a national guideline because IATF is the one who's really tasked, sila saya implementa, igual si Conakel antes ng kwento kita motorcycle barrier which the city is strongly opposed. This one is all about the face shield. LDI la kasi tapensa sila, hindi matu nesesita si taman ehersisyo tu, taman jogging tu, kabarleos man tu, después tiene man tu social distancing, hindi man nesesita kita usa pa tu kunel face shield, itchenebes debe pwede tu kita kunel dituyo face mask por causa baka hindi tumuri por causa de COVID, pero kahit necesita tu mucho aire, y hindi ta entra el aire na dituyo resuelyo, pwede pa siguro tumuri por causa lang de ese. And I checked on the internet, I tried to research. There have been instances already wherein the face mask and the face shields were blamed during physical activities donde yaman heart attack, elente, yaman collapse o yaman stroke. So in short, Your Honor, necesita kita, hindi kita con el alcalde tapidi, kay el alcalde na mo si LA con ese. Ese ley estaba na IATF. Por eso pidi kita con el IATF estudia otra vez con ese de la policía sobre con el face mask pati con el face shield. Restudy it and evaluate and consider allowing the temporary non-use by people who are engaged in rigid physical activities. To name a few, jogging, cycling. Kaya ta pwede to ase without, while observing social distancing. So yung mga tapidi para con el mga joggers, pati con el mga cyclists, pati aquellos mga diaton mga chenebes, mga de edad ya un poco, no? Tamang breeze walking sila. Na kita to pota pa to con el dila, no? Tamas sangga to con el ere ta entrana di ila resuelyo, hindi se bueno. Na pero por sao sila usa, por causa tiene sila miedo, ay pena kanila, kuhi kanila ipena. So that's the reason why, Your Honor, let me read it as written here. I am passing a resolution requesting IATF COVID to evaluate the mandatory use of face shields and face masks and to consider allowing people to temporarily not wear them during activities such as jogging, and now I just mentioned cycling and other physical body exercises that require more flow of oxygen, provided social distancing is observed. I move accordingly.
Member Lago, just for your information, yesterday the mayor had a meeting with health officials and security personnel, and the concern you just raised up today has already been addressed through an addendum to the guidelines, which I posted in our group chat last night, which no longer requires the use of a face shield for indoor and outdoor exercises, as well as bicycle use.
Okay, Your Honor, that is, I never knew about this. It is only now that I was informed. I think I can still push forward this resolution, given that there has been no official word coming from IATF.
It's already posted by the office of the city mayor on her official website.
When was this?
Official Facebook
Last
yesterday.
night?
Yes.
Yesterday, okay.
So it's moot already by this time.
At any rate, I'm thankful that this has been considered because na Facebook pa lang pwede kita mira bien montón de gente ta reklama. But again, with emphasis that this will be allowed following the guidelines of IATF. Your Honor, while I'm here, I'd like to excuse myself. I am right now with a pleb meeting. In fact, the cell phone is there because I am in a Zoom conference with pleb. So I would also like to be officially excused. I will just go to my office because I cannot hear them speaking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next item.
Item J, new business. J.1, copy furnished letter dated October 30, 2020 of the Acting District Fire Marshal, Office of the District Fire Marshal Region 9, Bureau of Fire Protection, this city, respectfully forwarding the technical specification with the proposed fund allocation with a total amount of 75,396,018 and 27 centavos for the firefighting equipment in compliance with Resolution 1329 dated September 22, 2020, requesting the Fire District Marshal and the City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office to furnish Sangguniang Panglungsod the full and complete specification of fire truck with a telescopic articulated ladder for possible allocation of funds for the purpose of the same. I think noted and filed.
Noted and filed.
J2, application for reclassification of the Hilltop Urban Poor Association Incorporated for appropriate action. I think the chairman of Urban Poor,
It's reaccredited.
so since
I
this
move
is
for
only
the approval, this is only a reaccreditation. There's a second?
I second, Mr. Chair, as a chair,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I second as a chairman of Committee on Urban Poor.
I'll give way to the chairman.
Second for
Mr.
this.
Chairman,
I withdraw my sponsorship. I give way to the distinguished chairman.
Let the records reflect that the chairman is the movant for the motion to approve the reaccreditation of Hilltop Urban Poor Association. All those seconding, please raise your hand. Villaflores,
Umaga.
Eding, Atilano, Perez, co-sponsor Jimenez, De La Cruz, seconding Pioc also. Comment, objection?
Umaga.
Umaga, seconding also, and Hanapi. Any objection? Gingona also seconding. There being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
Hanapi seconding.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Next item.
J.3, proposed resolution of Honorable Benjamin B. Gingona Deport.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Proceed, Member Gingona.
Sure. Once again, good morning. Mr. Chairman, yesterday, it was brought to my attention and a classmate of mine in high school messaged me via Facebook a report which was also shown by Emedia Center that a road project located at Kasalamatan in Kasanyangan. I also coordinated with the barangay Kagawa there. It was I was informed that the project was not yet finished. It's not yet finished, sorry. And yaduray daw sa Mr. Chairman. And actually abla mi classmate, instrumentos na pa sa ali, especialmente sa Ulan or San Bahagat Ali. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would like to propose a resolution. A resolution earnestly requesting the engineer's office to take action on the unfinished road project located at Kasalamatan, Barangay Kasanyangan, the city. In addition, the resolution is respectfully requesting the barangay officials of the said barangay and the Office of the City Environment and Natural Resources to clean up the scattered and uncollected solid waste within the area, Mr. Chairman. I move accordingly.
Co-sponsor. Second, co-sponsor, Mr.
I
Chair.
second the motion and co-sponsor, Mr. Chair. Olaso.
Co-sponsor, Mr. Chair.
Seconding,
Hanapi.
members Nuño, Alabard, Villaflores,
Olaso.
Perez, Olaso. Oh,
Hanapi, Mr. Chair.
Jointly and
Hanapi.
severally seconded.
Umaga.
Next item. Next item. Member
Other matters siya. About J.3B. Honorable Gingona.
Member Gingona.
Punto Yakel?
Hey, which one?
A and B, who's J.3A and J.3B? Punto ya?
3A and 3B, wait. Ano naman yung copy, wait. Can you flash on and refer? Kaya na din yung copy ki amay ka last.
Okay.
Okay. Member Pioc. Kasi jerky ka ba ito? Bong?
Ha?
Kanin ka jerky kay Kap. Kay Kap Lakandalo, kumana niya. Ha?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two resolutions, Mr. Chair. First, The Constitutional Reform National Debate Championship are among the activities in the Constitutional Reform National Youth Summit, which was organized online by the Department of Interior and Local Government Center for Federalism and Constitutional Reform, rebranded campaign called Constitutional Reform in line with President Duterte's call to address social ill in the Philippines. The debate competition kicked off last October 10, 2020, where Wimsu, who represented Region 9, faced off and beat opponents from the Region 3 in the knockout rounds. The representatives from Region 9 also outwitted competitors from Region 2 last October 13, 2020 during the semifinals round. The debate team was also able to secure their place in the final rounds of the National Youth Summit debates competitions after beating their competitors from the Cordillera Administrative Region in an online debate held last October 20, 2020. In the final round of the competition, which happened online last October 24, 2020, the representatives of the Region 9, who are from the Western Mindanao State University League of Debaters, hit second place in the Constitutional Reform National Debate Championships. Aside from winning the second place in the final round of the competition, the three-man debate team from WIMSU main campus composed of Arabon Toribio was hailed as the best speaker during the knockout round, while John Wendell Lota and Wilson Lambigui were declared as the best speaker in the following semi-final rounds respectively. By finishing second in the competition and with their outstanding performance, the WIMSU League of Debaters have made themselves, family and school, as well as the city, proud as they showcase their excellent wit and intellectual acuity, thus worthy of honor recognition from this august body. With this, Mr. Chair, I would like to pass a resolution commending and congratulating Arabon Toribio, John Wendell Lota, and Wilson Lambige of Western Mindanao State University League of Debaters for winning the second place during the Constitutional Reform National Debate Championship held online last October 24, 2020. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
I second the motion.
Seconding members Nuno, Villaflores,
Umaga.
Perez,
Hanapi.
Gona, Hanapi,
Tilano.
Tilano de la Cruz. Comment of Lavar, Gingona. Comment, objection, there being none, the same is hereby approved.
Next, Mr. Chair, Maasin Slope Protection. The slope protection of Purok 4, Maasin was destroyed due to the recent flash floods brought about by weather system. Whereas, Purok 4 at Maasin is a populated area where people resides along the banks. Though the river banks are protected by rip-rap structure, it was a gave way during the floods. A much-needed repair or rehabilitation of said structure was needed, but that very concern was already addressed due to the report submitted by the representation of the City Engineer's Office, and that committed from the City Engineer was able to obtain for inclusion in the proposed annual budget. The barangay officials again sought the attention of the authorities that same situation will abound the area if there will be no slope protection in the lower Puroks all the way to main barangay area. The barangay officials are requesting for the City Engineer's Office to also include in the slope protection program of the city that riprap of the riverbanks at Zone 3, Zone 2, and Zone 1 to be considered and undertaken. The barangay officials of Maasin are fully aware of the limited resources but has laid their confidence on the budget since the second priority in the budget message 2021 is the slope protection and drainage program. Now, therefore, the Sangguniang Panglungsod of Zamboanga City is making an earnest representation through the office of the City Mayor, Mayor Maria Isabel Climaco Salazar, to attend to the requests of the Maasin, and as such, a copy of this resolution shall also be furnished to the office of the Congressman of District 1 for information and perhaps even for appropriate action to such this request. This resolution is together with Councilor Rogelio Lim Valesco Jr., Mr. Chair. I so move accordingly.
Second, Member Sotilano Perez,
Nunyo.
Nunyo,
I second, Mr. Chair. Olaso.
Hanapi.
Salaso, Hanapi, Alavar,
Hanap.
Jimenez, Parehak. Comment?
Olaso. Olaso comment.
Yes, Olaso already noted. There being none, the
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for recognizing me.
Wait, Olaso.
Good morning. Pertaining to that,
Already
Mr.
noted.
Chair?
Already noted. Okay. Noted ang second.
pwede bang comment, sir?
Yan rule kayo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige, sir.
Next. Member Macrohon.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, last time, Mr. Chair, cuando puede bisita el members de committee na DPWH, uno del concern kanila, Mr. Chair, pwede sila mention no? Sabi naman este, el diato nga upan otro, headed by Councilor Monsi de la Cruz, el diato chairman on infrastructure. They have some concerns, no? Itapiti sila ayuda kanaton, like for example, sa mga poste de Samselco, and to include also el sa diaton apektaw tamen called storage building alina Santa Cruz. So during the budget deliberations, Mr. Chair, pwede kita sa pregunta con el diato city engineer Christopher Navarro regarding el status del cold storage building. I-abla ka nato si Engineer Chris kay 70% pa lang daw yapaga, no, el DPWH. I-waiting sila con el remaining 30% para pwede kompleta el pago before sila man demolish, no, el building as requested by the DPWH. So information i-abla ka natin el city engineer, follow up kita ng DPWH para pagkat el remaining 30%, no, as in favor namin kumigo si Councilor Monsi as the chairman del infra to follow up, no, with DPWH the remaining 30%. Por eso yanda yung kunesa man follow up para kompleta ka na al pago, no, and then while making the follow up and inquiry, Mr. Chair, with DPWH, dyan sila dalimira dokumento, no, agreement between the city government and the DPWH regarding an payment there's a cold storage, no. So talina din yung explanatory note, Mr. Chair, may I read, no. During the budget deliberation, City Engineer Christopher Navarro informed the committee that the Department of Public Works and Highways has paid only 70% of the agreed cost of the cold storage building, and they are still waiting for the balance of the 30% to be paid before they will demolish the said building. Whereas, as per follow-up and inquiry with the DPWH, a copy of agreement, Mr. Chair, to demolish and remove improvements dated December 27, 2019 was shown, signed by our beloved City Mayor, representing the City Government of Zamboanga. No, tali na screen, el copy del document niya pwede sila kumigo dali kopya, no? If we go, Mr. Chair, sipira kita na page 2, Sir Homer, na second whereas clause, tabla ali, Mr. Chair, the first party, which is the DPWH, shall pay the said total price to the second party, which is the city government, in accordance with the following schedule. So number 1, first payment to be made upon approval of this agreement, equivalent to 70% of the said total price. The second party shall completely demolish and remove the structures or improvements listed above within 7 days from receipt of the first payment mentioned above. And then number 2, the second and final payment to be made at the time all the affected structures improvements are completely cleared or demolished, equivalent to the remaining 30% of the said total price. So este dila na agreement, Mr. Chair, del December 27, yan sign tamen de Brasan del Diaton City Mayor din agreement. So that is why, Mr. Chair, as instructed by our committee chair, Councilor Monsi, to follow up said concern with the DPWH, may I, Mr. Chair, pass a resolution, sponsor a resolution to respectfully recommending Her Honor the Mayor through the City Engineer's Office to demolish the cold storage building the soonest possible time to give way to the road widening project of the DPWH. Subject to style, Mr. Chair, I move accordingly.
Seconding, members De La Cruz, Perez,
Second.
Alabar,
Nunyo.
Nunyo, Gingona, yan pa,
Dalipe.
Dalipe, comment,
Nunyo.
Nunyo, yes, already noted. Comment, objection, there being none, the same is hereby approved. Next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And next resolution, Mr. Chair, still in line with el situation intersection on the road widening project. This is a resolution, Mr. Chair, requesting the telcos and cable companies to immediately relocate their respective posts and wires affected in the road widening project in Santa Cruz intersection area or in any other areas. Whereas, as per information from some telco, Mr. Chair, pwede kita magkwento tamen con el General Manager, some of the posts accordingly and wires affected by the road widening projects are property of telcos and cable companies. Whereas it is noted that these telcos and cable company posts and wires are also hindrances to the objective of the said project. So now therefore, Mr. Chair, may I sponsor a resolution requesting telcos and cable companies to immediately relocate their respective posts and wires affected in the road widening project of the DPWH in Santa Cruz intersection area.
The Honorable City Mayor and the Task Force COVID Zamboanga and the CDRMO to reconsider the Executive Order Number BC 607-200 Section 3A and allow couples as a passenger in the same tricycle and allow the drivers, the spouse or living partner to be in the same tricycle. Mr. Chair, we have come to notice that tricycle, Mr. Chair, dole kita sila deprive aki Mr. Chair kay for causa dali kita kunila piadyo kumo ya banda kita kunila piadyo munta pwede sila munta de dos but kunila tricycle may kita autorisa Mr. Chair na aras sa mga grupo del tricycle since the committee chair of franchise sabi to yatra ka kanaton tapidi ka naton porque man na piadyo lang niya dali porque man na tricycle, ngay dali, man alaw muntal man maridable. Siendo el syudad, el IATF yan alaw ya, man maridable, man angkas ng un motor, porque man na tricycle, hindi pwede muntal man maridable, Mr. Chair. Por eso, Mr. Chair, tapase ko rin otra vez sa resolution, tanita radio otra vez, tapase ko rin del otro, address ko na datong si administrator, batara, and address of the task force COVID sa Buanga, and as well to CDRMO. Siguro sa kita kung sa solusyon o manera pwede ase para ay taming kita kung natin mga tricycle drivers kita tormenta sila ara na nila talagang kita la vida mo specialmente sa tempo de pandemya, Mr. Chair. I move accordingly, Mr. Chair.
Any second? Seconding, members Atilano, Perez, Pio,
Hanapi, second.
Hanapi, De La Cruz, comment, objection, there being none, the same is hereby approved. Next, Member Perez.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Proposed resolution requesting all 98 barangays to spearhead and intensify massive cleanup drive at rivers, creek drainage, steros, and coastal areas through the mobilization of barangay officials, volunteers, residents, and other concerned sectors. Whereas one of the ways of address this problem is to organize cleanup drives in the community. These cleanup drives should be done regularly, and also people need to be encouraged to participate. However, there are times that barangays seldomly organize cleanup drives, and there are also times that people aren't aware or sure if there are cleanup drives that are implemented in their areas. That's why they can participate in order to see the positive change in environment. We want to promote the importance of cleanup drive and call the attention of all the barangays to strictly and regularly implement this, and also to encourage the constituents to actively participate to those kind of programs, and to make cleaning the environment and have it without waiting for someone to tell them to do so. Whereas learning to proper ways of waste management is one of the important things to consider when addressing the never-ending problems of the different communities regarding waste, pollution, and as well, almost dirty environment caused by waste pollution can lead to this disease, and also the destruction of our environment, since it is one of the reasons why flood occur. I move accordingly.
Standing members Tilano, Perez, Tilano, De La
Hanapi.
Cruz, Piop,
Nunio,
Hanapi,
Dalipe.
Hingona, Dalipe,
Hanapi.
Villaflores,
Olaso, second.
Olasos, Hingona,
Olaso.
comment, objection,
Hanapi, seconding.
noted, Hanapi.
Hanapi.
There being
Mr.
none,
Chair, Olaso.
the same is hereby approved. Any other? No more? Well, before we end, and so I solicit a motion to adjourn. I received earlier some visitors from the office of Senator Win Gatchalian, and they turned over some face masks for our use. So I will distribute the same to the different offices of the councilors for use of the councilors and their staff. I apologize for joining you late. I had to attend to them. Anyway, may I solicit a motion to adjourn from the floor?
I move for the motion, for the adjournment of the session.
Hanapi.
Second.
Present, second.
Session
Hanapi.
is adjourned.
Sir Bong Atilano.